Hi everyone, Jim Bartles here for the Fantasy Baseball Tour that we've organized for Ingstad Minnesota Broadcasting, including Knuj Radio in New Ulm, Minnesota, but many of our other stations around the state as well. We've got two baseball tours that we're doing in conjunction with Jay Buckley Baseball Tours. We've been doing these for over 20 years. I've got pictures from last year. We had two different motor coaches that went last year, and this was a trip that we went to the southeast part of the country, Atlanta, Florida, saw some ballparks there. But I want to talk about this year's trips. We have two. The first one's going to be June 26th through July 3rd. 8 days, 7 games, 8 teams, 5 ballparks. Real quickly, we start out on June 26th and we'll see Kansas City at Milwaukee. And then we spend 4 days in Chicago. And the Minnesota Twins are playing in all 4 of these games. 2 games against the White Sox, 2 games against the Cubs. On July 1st, we're in St. Louis, where Atlanta plays the Cardinals. On July 2nd, Cleveland is at Kansas City. Now let's give you a little more information. Other highlights of the trip that we've got. We've got a tailgate party at Miller Park, so that'll be fun on the first day. Guided tour of Chicago, guided tour of Wrigley Field. I haven't been on one of those yet. That should be a lot of fun. Buffet reception at Harry Caray's restaurant in Chicago, and we will do additional sightseeing in Chicago and St. Louis. Our flyer looks like this, and you can find more information on knuj.net, or if you go to Jay Buckley Baseball Tours website, they also will have it listed under Trip 9. All right, let's go to our second trip that we're doing with them. Our flyer looks like this, and you can see that it is going in July. And in July, it's going to be on the 21st through the 29th. So we hit 2 weekends, but only 5 work days in there. This trip is another really good trip. It includes going to Toronto, which is one of the big selling points. We have 2 buses going on this one. One is full. The other one has got enough that we're already doing that second bus. The first trip, by the way, this one, we only have about 4 seats left, and then that one will be full on bus number 1. So back to our second trip. This one here that we're talking about, all right? We've got the Dodgers at Milwaukee, and that will come with a tailgate party once again. We also got St. Louis at Chicago Cubs, Pittsburgh at Cleveland, Minnesota at Toronto for 2 games, New York Mets at Pittsburgh, PNC Park, one of the best parks there is in the country, Cleveland at Detroit at Comerica, one of my favorite parks yet, and then Toronto at the Chicago White Sox. Highlights of the trip, tailgate party at Miller Park, all-you-can-eat food at Progressive Field. We have a nice area there that we'll be in. Guided tour of Toronto. We'll be at Harry Caray's for a buffet. Sightseeing in Cleveland, Niagara Falls, and Toronto. Niagara Falls is always a hit. Again, go to knuj.net. You can find out more information. Or go to any of our Ingstad Minnesota radio station websites. They'll have information there. And also on the Jay Buckley Baseball website. Now, the second trip for them is called Trip 12. The first trip was Trip 9. We think you'll enjoy it. My wife and I will be escorts on these trips, and we'll have a great time. A lot of our repeat customers are coming along. Check it out. We call them the Fantasy Baseball Tour. They are a Major League Baseball tour that we do, and we've got 2 trips this year. The first one leaves June 26th. The second one leaves July 21st. That's all for now. You can always give a call to 800-444-5685, and we'll get you hooked up with more information direct to me. That's all for now. Thank you.